New emails revealed details about a story that probably won't surprise you. Tony Fauci was behind the scenes colluding with the National Institutes of Health Director Francis Collins to discredit any practicing physician who had questions about COVID lockdowns. Now, keep in mind, neither Fauci nor Collins was actually treating COVID patients. They didn't actually know that much about COVID, despite their job titles. But they tried to crush anybody who was treating COVID who had a different view of how we should respond. In an email sent in October of last year, Francis Collins told Fauci that a, quote, quick and devastating published takedown was needed for a group of scientists who signed a document questioning downs because of lockdown's effect on mental and physical health. They sound like the mafia over there, these creeps. Now, that declaration was signed by an international and Ivy League scientist, yet Collins called these doctors, quote, fringe, which is the last thing they were. He, it turns out, was fringe. Naomi Wolf is an author and journalist who's been following the details of this and many other stories of our COVID reaction. She joins us tonight. Naomi Wolf, thanks so much for coming on. It sounds like you're reading, Genovese family leaders talking about, crushing an opponent over a cement contract. I mean, really.
It's unbelievable, but I really hope Americans watching this story will understand how truly scary and devastating it is that such senior scientists and researchers who are responsible for allocating billions of dollars in research were taking time from their jobs, which is to fund research, to single out individuals who were telling the truth and doing their jobs as epidemiologists and public health experts. And these were people who, if we had listened to them a year ago or last November, our kids would be free, they would have been in school, our young adults would have not lost a year and a half of college, 100,000 restaurants would be open, because the Great Barrington Declaration said, let's support everyone in living a normal life, which is normal epidemiological wisdom for decades, but shelter and protect the vulnerable. So it's shocking to see the mafia-like tactics of Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins saying, let's make sure there are hit pieces on these respected, reputable epidemiologists and researchers.
And you make two such wise points. One, these guys held the purse strings. They're in control of federal dollars that the scientific community really needs, can't exist without. And two, they used the media to pull this off. So there were hit pieces against Jay Bhattacharya, for example, who was way more credible than Fauci or Collins.
These are some of the most distinguished epidemiologists and public health experts. Stanford, Harvard, Oxford, and Jeffrey Tucker, who convened them at the American Institute of Economic Research. These are highly reputable people, and they all put their reputations on the line, knowing there would be blowback in telling the truth that went against this narrative. And so what I really want to stress is that not only is that terrifying and of a piece of the bullying of this administration, like singling out the disinformation dozen, from the most senior pulpit in the land, right? But it also goes to distorting public health and science, because many people told the signatories of the Great Barrington Declaration, other scientists, other researchers, that they opposed lockdowns, or they opposed masking children, or they had questions about vaccinating children, while still in clinical trials, but they were scared to say anything because they didn't want to go against Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins, who are, these emails show, targeting American citizens for doing their jobs. It is absolutely devastating and terrifying. And I think also as a taxpayer, it's a misuse of public resources.